On today's video, I'm going to show you why you suck at wholesaling. Guys, I'm in a really bad mood right now for two reasons. One, I have COVID, and two, one of my students just submitted a deal that was a complete waste of my time. Here's what happened. I'm lying in bed feeling sorry for myself, and I get a text from one of my students who I happen to know, and he says, Jerry, I submitted a deal. Your team rejected it. I don't know what's going on. I'm so upset. This is an amazing deal. Everybody tells me it's a deal. Even my grandma who's in a nursing home on a ventilator says it's a good deal. And so I'm like, send it to me. I'll take a look at it. Now, I know it's not a deal because my team is really good, and anything remotely close to a deal gets passed off to me. By the way, I have a finder program where you can submit deals to me. If it meets my criteria, I'll buy it, pay you $10,000. If you want to learn more about that program, just go to my10kcheck.com. Okay, so I get my sorry butt out of bed and I come and I look at this deal. Now I'm going to tell you why this is not a deal for two reasons. And these two reasons why he totally screwed up this deal is the same two reasons why most people get this wrong and think they have a deal when they actually don't have a deal. Okay, so this is the house right here. Now this is in Ohio, and my student has this deal right now under contract, and the price he has it under contract for is nowhere close to a good deal. Now I'm going to tell you why. First reason why is he's off on his repairs. This is a 1930 built home. It means it's old. It means it's going to have problems. If you take a look at this thing, there's a cellar down there. Who knows what's down there? Here's a shed, and this is asbestos siding, so it's going to need probably vinyl siding over this. Here's the little one-car garage, needs a new roof. Come in here, look at these old wood floors, old paneling, and drop ceilings. See the drop ceilings? Every room has drop ceilings. That means I got to rip those drop ceilings out and drywall. I got to rip out that paneling and re-drywall. These floors are a complete mess. That's going to need all new floors. Who knows if these are level? I don't know what this room is here. Here's an old and busted kitchen. All of that's got to come out. New electrical, probably new plumbing, all new kitchen, all new flooring, new appliances. I come up this, narrow stairs into these bedrooms, probably new doors, probably some trim, just a lot of work. Again, there's drop ceilings. Here's wallpaper. All this has to come out. I'm assuming that these windows are bad. Now, my student said that this deal is a $50K rehab. It's not a $50K rehab. There's no way you're going to rehab this house and make it look nice for $50K. It's more like $75,000. So that's mistake number one, way off on the rehab. Remember, built in 1930 means it's going to be a big rehab. Whatever you think it is, add more because it's old and busted. Okay, number two was the comps. Now, this is where we're at. We're in this historic district. We're in this kind of area right in here. And this is a comp that my student said gives a value of $350,000. He came up with $350,000 as the ARV. So let me ask you a question. Does this house right here, do you think is comparable to this house? This house was built in 1993. It's got a two-car attached garage. It's modern. It's updated. Now, I'm not into this blue and white, but take a look at this thing. It's a new kitchen. It's updated, modern floor plan, modern house, higher ceilings, tray ceilings. It's a basic rehab. But my point here is this house does not compare to an old 1930s house. He also used this house as a comp. Again, not a comp. Why? This is a newer built home with an attached two-car garage. It's not the same. A buyer's not going to look at this house and say, this one's fixed up, so I'll pay the same price as this house is fixed up. Just not going to happen. Let me show you one more. My student submitted this house as a comp. It's like you're built in 2002, not a comp. What are the rules for comping? Comping, you have three main rules. It's got to be similar in features. Your built is one of those. Square footage, beds and baths, floor plan, style. It's got to be similar. We're looking for like homes. We're going to say, if I take this home and I fix it and sell it up, what is it going to sell for? Well, if I have other similar homes, then I can use that as data to know what my house will be worth. That's after repair value. Assuming this house is fixed up and it's sold for whatever it sold for, if I do the same to my house, it will get the same number, but only if it's similar. So it's got to be similar. Number two, it's got to be close in proximity. Now, a lot of people screw this up. They think a half a mile or a mile. No, it doesn't matter if it's a half a mile or a mile. It matters, is it in the same neighborhood? I can go 2 streets over and be in a completely different neighborhood with new homes built in 1990, and my old and busted house was built in 1930, different neighborhood. So it's not about the half a mile, it's about the neighborhood. It's got to be in the same neighborhood of like-minded properties or similar properties. So similar, in the same neighborhood, and then recent. It's got to be sold recently. Now, this one, normally we would go 3 months or 6 months and we'd say, okay, we're going to look at historical data. The historical data is going to tell me what homes are selling for. And assuming I find close in proximity and similar in features and it recently sold, that'll give me good data. Well, we're in a declining market right now. So what does that mean? It means that the value of the house today is going to be probably worth less in 4, 5, 6 months when I fix it up and put it back up for sale. So we have to do some adjustments to account for a declining market. There's a market correction happening right now. So we have to factor that in. Now, I did a video that explains exactly how to factor that in so that you can anticipate what your house is going to sell for down the road 4, 5, 6 months later when you list it for sale. But one thing I want to show you here, and if you look here, you know, like I said, we're right over here, and this is our model comp. Let me pull this house up here. It's active right now, not for sale. So it's not sold data, but it's active at 295. Now, again, my student was bringing comps in the 350s or so that were newer, not comps. This is listed for 295. It's about the same square footage, same bed, same bath, same style. Look at it. It's a 2-story like ours. Now, again, they did new windows, they did new roof, they did new siding, and this is completely renovated. But let's look at the year built, 1930. This is actually our house. If you look here, let's do a side by side. There's the comp, and here's our house. You can see it's got a porch like that, 2-story, same year built, same square footage, same beds and baths. This is actually a decent comp. And if you look at it, they did new floors. They kept the old wide base. They did some kind of, skim coating thing on the roof or on the ceiling, but look, they put in recessed lights. So they did a lot of electrical. You got all new electrical package. Look at the new kitchen, an island, appliances. They got nice electrical in here. They probably opened this up and put a header in here. They did, because in 1930, this was a wall right here with a closed off kitchen. So now they're doing beam work. I mean, this is every bit of a $75,000 rehab to get this house to look like this. This is actually a reasonable comp, but look, it's active for 295. So if this house done right, nicely renovated, is not selling in 58 days, what makes you think if I buy this house, fix it up, make it look just as nice, that it's going to sell for more than this house? It's not. This is my competition right now. If I was on market right now with my fixed up house, I would be competing with this house that isn't selling in 60 days. So what's the real number? Well, what if this person wants to sell this house quick right now? They're going to have to drop the price. And who knows what that's going to have to be to get this sold. But clearly it's not selling for 295. So I think conservatively, it might be 260, maybe 265, maybe 250. I might go with a number like that. I think if I were going to buy this house, I would probably be looking at more like a 250, 260 type of number that it will sell for all fixed up with a $75,000 rehab, not a $50,000 rehab. So what are the real numbers? Well, run our formula. Okay, so if I go to my deal analyzer right here, which I'll give this to you for free, just go to mydealanalyzer.com and you can get this for free. All right, I got my square footage in here. I've got an ARV of 261, 75,000 in rehab. If I back out 9% for closing and commissions, 6% for carrying costs, 15% for profit, that gives me a 107,783 as a buy price. Now, if you're going to wholesale this deal, and you want to make 10 grand, then you're looking at more like 97. So, 97, 100 grand, that would make this a deal. This is a deal for 100 grand. So I buy it for 100. I pay out a $10,000 wholesale fee. I spend 75 on a rehab, and then I turn around and I resell it for 260,000. And I would make a $40,000 profit, $39,000 profit doing that flip. That is what would make this a deal. So guys, what happens here is you get this under contract for 150,000 and you bring it to me or other flippers in your market, and they're like, no, that's not a deal. And you're like, why can't I get a good deal? So guys, how do you get better at wholesaling? You've got to really dial in how to estimate repairs. You don't have to be an expert at it. You don't have to know a lot about repairs, but you do have to be realistic and come up with real numbers that reflect what it's going to take to do a real rehab on a property. You can't take a deal to a guy like me and expect me to do a full-blown rehab on an old house without having the right budget for it. It's going to cost money to do that the right way. Second is your ARV. You've got to learn how to comp properties better. Both these things I talk about extensively on my channel. I show over and over and over again how to comp properties. You've got to learn how to get good at that if you're going to land these good deals. Okay. Now that property is listed for way too much. It's listed for like 170, and 97 or 100 is a good buy on that property. So what do? You make your offer, then you go to the next one. You make an offer, you go to the next one. You do that 5 times a day, you're going to land deals. It's just a numbers game. But you've got to start making offers that are actually good deals. Okay. Rant over. I'm going back to bed.